जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारि। यमुना तीरावनचारि। यमुना तीरावनचारि। यमुना तीरावनचारि। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। 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 जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्र श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन ब्यूटी फाउंडर आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्र श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 10, Chapter 13, Verse number 14. इति उक्त्वा द्रिदरी कुंज घवरेशव आत्मवत्सकान् विचिन्वन् भगवान् कृष्ण सपानि कवलो ययु. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Let me go and search for the calves, Krishna said. Don't disturb your enjoyment. Then carrying his yogurt and rice in his hand, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna immediately went out to search for the calves of his friends. To please his friends, he began searching in all the mountains, mountain caves, bushes and narrow passages. Purport. The Vedas, Shvetashvara Upanishad 6.8 assert that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has nothing to do personally. Na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Because he is doing everything through his energies and potencies. Parasya shakti vividhaiva shruyate. Nonetheless, here we see that he took personal care to find the calves of his friends. This was Krishna's causeless mercy. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. All the affairs of the entire world and the entire cosmic manifestation are working under his direction through his different energies. Still, when there is a need to take care of his friends, he does this personally. Krishna assured his friends, "Don't be afraid. I am going personally to search for your calves." This was Krishna's causeless mercy. Om Ajnanatimirantasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangulangayati girim yat kripatam mande Shri Guru Dinataranam. Vancha kalpatarvesha kripa sindhuvecha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. This was Krishna's causeless mercy. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. All affairs of the entire world and the entire cosmic manifestation are working under his direction. He doesn't have to do anything personally. Yes. Na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. So from the Shastras we can understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, he's so independent that everything is carried out by his energies and his potencies. We are also a part of him. We are his marginal potency. And that's why we are meant to serve him. Then only we can be happy. But over here, Krishna is personally trying to do something for his friends. Yes. That's his mercy. He doesn't have to do. Yes, he doesn't have to do all this. He doesn't have to come to the material world. Yes. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chu dushkritam dharma sansthapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. He comes again and again to establish the principles of religion, to punish the miscreants who disturb the devotees. Yes, to protect the devotees. But his ultimate goal is the relationship with Krishna. With the devotees. The only beautiful thing about coming to the material world is to interact with the devotees. Otherwise, there is no need for interaction for the Lord to come. Yes, whenever he comes, and like in case of Prahlad Maharaj and Narasimhadev, he comes, he kills, and then he goes. But why? It's only because for interaction with his devotees. He comes, he kills, but he doesn't have to. He can choke on a peanut. Hiranyakashipu can just die choking on a peanut, It's as simple as that. If he just desires, if he just, flips his finger, snaps his fingers, that's it. It's gone. By Mahavishnu's breath, a single breath, this whole thing is going on. All the universes, Brahma doing this, then Indra doing that, and so many things are going on. Just in a single breath of Mahavishnu. He just needs to breathe in, and that's it. Everything is gone. And that's why the 9 cantos of Bhagvatam are giving us what is the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Srila Prabhupada again and again emphasize, you understand who God is. Why to understand what is greatness of God? Why not just enter into all these pastimes and just be over there? It's so nice. Oh, I can do it however and whatever I want. But the tendency is that I can do whatever and however I want with the Lord. It's about me. But not understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That who is He actually? And that's why we have surgeons. They do not understand what is the position of God. When we do not understand the position of God, then we have to go and actually take shelter of the demigods. We go and take shelter of, astrologers who mention that you should serve demigods to get everything done. Why? Because they do not understand who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the persons going also, they do not understand. So it makes sense for them. But when it comes to us and we start doing it, it's actually not a good position. Because we haven't understood, even though we might have read Bhagvatam, but we haven't understood who is Krishna. He's not just any ordinary, a demigod who will give up his position and then another person will come in his place. It's not like that. He is the Supreme Personality. He is the absolute truth. He is absolute. Everything comes from Him. And so naturally everybody is subordinate to Him and everybody's duty is to serve Him. Whether we like it or not, eventually you have to serve Him. Yes, eventually it happens according to His will only. One way or the other. Yes. So, rather than, trying to do our own thing, if we surrender, it becomes easier for us. And that's why it is the path. Surrender to God. But no, I can try to live my independent life and then it doesn't work out. So that's why the 9 cantos are establishing this point that he personally doesn't have to do anything. Maya Dekshana Prakriti Suyate Sa Characharam. According to his direction, everything is working. Yes, according to his direction, there is nothing you can do. That you can gain control of, the whole planet, so the whole universe, the whole material creation. There is nothing you can do. The Mayavadis are trying to do that. They want to be one with the Lord. Why? So that they can lord it over. The highest false ego, that I am God. But over here it said, no, everything is under His control. How can God forget who He is? Everything should be working under Him. And not because He comes under illusion and then you start suffering. No, that's all bogus. That it logically doesn't make sense also. And then there is Shunya, nothing is there. It's all blank. Then where does illusion come from? No, that is also blank. Then who's under illusion? We don't know. There's no soul, there's nothing. So that also doesn't work out because we can actually see, right, there's something. The who is actually seeing nothing. No, actually nobody's seeing anything. So there is no seer, there is no seen, there's nothing. To say nothing is also nothing. But then that doesn't work out. How do you do that? Radhanath Maharaj, when in his the Journey Home book here, he mentions that before meeting the devotees in Mumbai, he was actually in a 40-hour Buddhist program. Just focusing on one crack. 40 hours, you have to just focus on that crack. Nothing else, You just sit in front of a wall and then you see a crack in the wall and you just focus and think, not even think about it. Just blank your mind. There shouldn't be no thought. Meditate on nothing. And that crack is nothing, 40 hours. And just to, have a break after that. He gets up and just walks barefoot, with long hair, long beard. A 20-year-old, 21-year-old, almost just out of his teens. in the peak of youth and everything. And he's practicing 40-hour, meditation. What is this? Who can do all that, right? And then he just walks out, and then he sees the big balloon and Cross Maidan. And then, the 1972, Cross Maidan festival. Sham Sundar Prabhu, Gurudas Prabhu, Yamuna Mataji. All of these great souls, the pandal was set up, everything was set. And tens and thousands and 20,000 people used to come to see Prabhupada. All these white elephants dance in Cross Maidan on the platform. And Giriraj Maharaj actually was handing out Back to Godhead magazines, and Maharaj explains that they act like they punch the corner of the magazine and they tie it with a rope. Why? Because people will just take them, right? Over here it might be different, right? But in India you cannot keep anything like that. You have to tie it so that nobody steals. And that's why Indians here and there, so you have to be careful about that part. You have to keep things secure. So then his first service was actually to do that, to prevent stealing by all of these people. So when Maharaj went actually to Giriraj Maharaj, like, oh, you want to do something, you do this. And then Srila Prabhupada comes on the stage and he sees Prabhupada for the first time. The thing is that when he started his journey in Europe, somewhere in Europe, somebody actually handed out Prabhupada's photo. But he did not see the photo actually. He just kept it in his bag or someplace. And later in the book it is revealed that after a long time, he actually sees the same bag or something, and then he takes out the photo. And it's actually Prabhupada's photo. He didn't realize, how things come up and how things are arranged by the Lord. Maya Dikshana Prakrisuya Tesa Characharam. Everything is arranged by the Lord. And for the devotee, it is especially arranged for the Lord. Yes. Haldar Maharaj is mentioning that whatever things come in our life, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Madhurya Kadamba, it's not our karma anymore. If we believe that, yes, then you can practice karma. You can go and actually do pious things so that you can have good things in the future. But we lose the opportunity to be Krishna conscious. And that's why to see everything is Krishna's arrangement is actually, because this is true, right? Everything is working under Krishna's will. You cannot say that this is independent than that, because that doesn't mean that Krishna is absolute. He has to follow. But he doesn't have to follow. He's independent. Yes, that's why in the case of Aghasur, when he goes back home, back to Godhead, Sarupya Mukti, right? So how is that possible? It's not His causeless mercy. Because it is Krishna's will which is independent of anybody's karma. He can decide what can happen with us. So to see only and only Krishna's mercy, that's why when people have tough times, usually we have these all reasons. We give according to their level of consciousness also. It pacifies them. Or something good will happen after that bad goes away, right? Yeah, like the seasons of the year. What is that? Shitoshni Sukha Dukkhada. It's like the season. Today you have sadness, tomorrow you will have happiness. It's not everlasting. Nothing is everlasting. Everything is temporary. So don't worry. Then happiness will also come. Just we have to just tolerate this point right now. So that's true. Time heals so many wounds. It goes away. And then there is other explanation we give that, because you have big chunk of karma, that's why it's getting burnt away. Oh, very nice. That's also true. Krishna wants to bring you closer to him because by burning a karma. Okay, very nice. Then there is the other aspect where no, it's for your own good. You need to learn nice things. If you wouldn't have gone through this difficult time, you wouldn't have learned this and all. Very nice, that's also good. But a pure devotee is thinking only one thing. Where Prabhupada facing 2 heart attacks, he's not thinking that it's his own karma. It's just a thing. I just need to serve Krishna in any situation. He's like, I don't know what's happening. He didn't say right in his book or somewhere or in his poem, it's my karma, I am facing this. No, he didn't write all that. Krishna willing I live, Krishna willing I die. Rakhe Krishna mare ka, mare Krishna rakhe ka. It doesn't matter what happens to this body either way. Prahlad Maharaj, he could have thought, no, the body belongs to Krishna. You can do whatever. I belong to Krishna. Everything is happening by his own will. He's thinking that way. He's just praying to the Lord. He's not even praying to protect, because everything happens by the Lord's will. You cannot control. That's his surrender. We cannot be like that. It's very difficult. Very difficult to just let it happen. Somebody say that, oh, my relatives some long time ago, that will you just do biju, if it's only chanting, then will you leave everything and just chant? Who will give you food? Yes, they always say this point. Who will give you food? Who will give you money? Who will give you shelter? And then the pastime comes of the Python sadhu. This, he says that, just lie on the street. It's like, imagine being in Arizona in the hot sun, just lying on the street. How is it possible? But the thought of that Python sadhu is that everything is provided by the Lord. And why is he called Python sadhu? Why Python, not a cobra sadhu? Because he's not thin. He's fat. Prahlad Maharaj looks at him and he's like, how come you're so fat? You're not doing anything, you're just lying there. He's like, everything is controlled by the Lord. If the Lord wishes I'll eat today, He'll give. He's given me everything. Madhavendra Puri, when he walks into the forest, he's just walking. He doesn't go and beg anywhere. That kind of a sannyasi he is. He will not beg anywhere. Oh, that's why the Puri name is there, Madhavendra Puri, because that level of sannyas is different. Puri. There is a category of sannyasi, that Tirtha, Puri, this and that. So he doesn't go and beg. He will sit under a tree, and if something falls in front of him, or somebody gives anything, then only he'll have it. There is no, Uber Eats or Swiggy, and then you order that from Govinda's, or you cater from the temple, Manchurian, fried rice, noodles. Today's Ekadashi, so moving on. So, he's not ordering anything. It's not like, oh, I'm sitting over, now it will come to me. No. Somebody comes and gives, okay. And what do people come and give usually? They'll give you what is left over. Right? It's not like they're prepared for you. But Krishna maintains. And then I was telling this person, yeah, you just chant. There was one time I was telling the same thing. I was like, okay, now at least we have a little clear. I was like, you think it's easy, because outside people think it's easy to do this, just depend on Krishna. Sab wo karenge. You don't want to do your own responsibility. But the point is that person who's saying it, I was telling my mom, we will give them, in India at least it's cheaper, right? We'll give them 1 lakh rupees. A month. You go to Vrindavan, stay in a place which will be given to you. The whole day, in the morning you just attend Mangalarti, attend Darshanarti, and the whole day just sit in that one room without doing anything, no mobile, no TV, no nothing. Just chant Hare Krishna. You will be given food and everything, for a whole life. How long will they do it? They can't. They'll go mad. They have this big boss and everything. They go mad, these people, right? But they're doing it for the money. There is something going on. They want something, right? Eventually they want something. That's why they are going through that suffering. But if you're a non-devotee or a person who's new, And like, I will just chant. I will not do anything. Like people come usually, and devotees, they're just chanting. But they'll go home and they have so many other things to do also, right? In the temple, why do you have to, there's katha going on. Why do you have to chant? No, I've taken a thing and all. But at home, then don't eat. Skip a meal. You don't have to eat, right? You'll survive for 3 days. But no, I have to chant at that moment always. Yeah, there is some people say that's allowed. I don't know. But hearing is chanting, attentively. Shri Radha Madhav Hari Ki Jai. Hearing is chanting, All Maharajas, all Prabhupada, you just listen carefully. We haven't reached to that stage where we can just chant, It's very difficult. Just give up everything, do not talk to anyone, just chant. No prajalpa, definitely. No talking what happened, no calling anybody. And just chanting. Like how many people will attempt? Come ahead. Let's see how many people can do it. 1 month, that's also very difficult. Your devotees go to Vrindavan and even for a month in Kartik, right? Not to think about anything other than Krishna. How difficult. And you have an aim also, right? To go back home, back to... Still it is very difficult. Imagine devotees who are very senior and advanced. They just chant 64 rounds, 32 rounds every day. And for here and there, for a little time, they'll come and talk, spend 2 hours, and again go back to chanting. Very difficult. The point is that our life is meant to do that. But how to reach to that point? And then these verses, then Krishna is like, oh, let me go and search for the devotees, Don't disturb your enjoyment. They are fixed on Krishna. That chanting which these devotees do, these senior devotees only chant, nothing. There's not even too much association going on. Why? They've reached that stage. They're just pleasing Krishna by their chanting. They don't have to attain anything anymore. Their enjoyment, don't disturb your enjoyment. Sanatan Goswami walking at his very advanced age, trying to do parikrama. That is his enjoyment, doing that tapasya. Maharaj, somebody asked Maharaj that why did Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj do tapasya for 60,000 years in the previous life? They're eternally his mother and father, then why to do tapasya? And he said, a mother is actually doing so much for the child. She'll cook, she'll bathe, she'll dress him up nicely, at least whatever she thinks it's nice, with the flat hair, with so much oil in the head. But she's thinking it's good for him. She's massaging, so many things she's doing for the child. There's so much tapasya. Staying up awake at night whenever the child needs you. If the child is sick, then the mother doesn't sleep. So much. Why? So much tapasya she is doing. For what? No, because she loves the child. It's as simple as that. So, Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, there is no reason. They just like pleasing Krishna. That's what Prabhupada wants us to be like, And that's when Krishna goes out for his friends. He doesn't have to do anything. He's so independent. His causeless mercy is so much. Because he doesn't have to do anything. He can just flick of his fingers, snap of his fingers. He can bring back the calves. He can create new ones. Everything is Krishna. He does that after they got stolen. He could have done it on the spot. But no, he wants to do something for his loved ones. Because they love him so much. He just wants to see them happy. And they want to see him happy. And so they know that he would be happy that we sit over here. That's what he wants us to do. So they sit over there and he goes away. Yes? That is Krishna, He could have been that absolute God where you just do whatever he's told you to do. But he's not like that. He's such a sweet person. So nice. He cares for the devotee so much. He'll arrange for the devotee so many things. And so we have to take that opportunity to please Krishna. Yes. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.